Okay. A lot of people think that, you know, when it comes to going into a spiritual journey, right? Doing any kind of spiritual movement or however, right? They think that it's something, it's a thing. They think that it's something like having to, or how do we say this? It's such an easy thing to where as though it's utilized just to be looked at in certain way just because there's a lot more people nowadays that are trying to be so quote unquote spiritual, right? When it comes to that, it's not something you choose. It's something that was already embedded, that was already planned ahead, that you already planned ahead, to put yourself in that space, right? To even come about even enhancing your spirituality, or moving on and starting a new spiritual journey. It started with you know you going through different experiences towards so you gain wisdom, and that wisdom that you gain is what unlock the doors, unlock the space for you to go in to enhance your spirituality, to even or become aware of it, to be able to tap into different things that you inherited, that you that is for you to tap into, to be able to get you to accomplish whatever you were meant to accomplish on this earth. So when it comes to spirituality or spiritual journey, it's not something that is a trend or something that you just do just because everybody else is doing, right? It's something that you feel within you. It's something that you already know, because it's no joke. It's not something that is easy as, meditating and going within and this and that. No, or learning or studying or things like that. No, 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 no. Because the wisdom, we all have wisdom within us. We all have different part of wisdom within us, like I said. And if you were meant to tap into that wisdom, is you were meant to tap into that wisdom. And the reason you end up tapping into that wisdom is not because, somebody else told you or somebody else showed you. No, it's because you're supposed to tap into it so that you can serve a greater purpose, so that you can be prepared to whatever it is that's coming to you, or whatever it is that you're meant to experience in the future. So when it comes to spirituality, right? Because we're all spiritual people, no matter what. Even if you in any kind of religion, you were spiritual before you even got into that religion. Religion is man-made. Religion is something that was created to keep all blah 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 blah. We already know about all that. Spirituality is something that is natural. It's something that is, and it's within all of us. And it's up to each one of us if you want to really grasp that or really understand that. You need to tap into that, and we can all tap into it. It's just a matter of detachment. Like, do not get attached. You have to be able to let go of things that no longer serve you, of things that no longer that hinders you, that keeps you blinded, that keeps you stagnated, and that keeps you unable to receive whatever you were meant to receive. Because trust me, like, people like to look at things as like, oh well, this doesn't sound good to me, this doesn't sound right, this is not true, this is false. No, everything is, everything is, like, everything that is created is, it is, whether it's a made up thing, is somebody made up something or have this understanding of something. It just what is, right? It's just that we get so lost into trying to hold on to this concept, trying to hold on to these ideas and wisdom, to where as though we allow it to overpower us, overtake us, to where as though it starts to control us instead of us controlling it, to where as though you're not even able to grasp any other concept that's outside of that understanding. Like, and when it comes to somebody, like, if you haven't experienced something, do not speak on it. If you haven't experienced something, do not speak on it. If it's not something that resonates with you, do not speak on it. If it's not something that you believe or you find as your truth or truthful, do not speak on it. Do not even try to debate it. Do not even try to do anything, because is a concept by itself. It's something that is by itself. It's neither true nor false. So it's just what is. So when someone else has their own concept, if one someone else's concept does not align with your own concept, then it doesn't, and you don't need to participate that energy, because that's not gonna do anything good for you, but hinder you or slow you down, or blind you even further to receiving or seeing whatever you were meant to receive. Because all of us, we're on different paths, on a different journey, and it's not good to force your concept or your or your viewpoint on others, right? With this wisdom that we all share, right? Because if we look at it, we are all pieces of the all. We are all ones making the all. The all, that source, that energy that y'all call God, that y'all put this small understanding or name behind this powerful energy. It's something that makes all of us. We are all pieces of it, and we all carry, each of us, pieces of its wisdom, right? So when someone else's wisdom is wisdom alone, it's already a wisdom. Not whether you find it truth or false, but it's all about what resonate with you, and whatever resonate with you might not resonate with somebody else. So what is up to you to do is to actually tap into that resonance, right? And figure out exactly how you want to be able to control that, or be able to understand that, right? And once you're able to understand that, or where that comes from, or where that stems from, or where that's leading you to, you will be able to um find or attract people that resonate the same way that you do, right? And by you finding that, you guys might be able to enhance one another's understanding and getting a broader wisdom on whatever y'all were meant to share to understand, you know? But once you find someone that doesn't share your wisdom, do not force yourself into trying to dumb down your wisdom, or trying to uphold their wisdom, and make it seem like they know it, because all that wisdom is not theirs. Wisdom is not ours. Nothing is ours. We come from no thing, but we are everything all at one. All in one. All in ones. We make up the all. We make up the higher power. We make up that source that made us, that shaped us, that spirit within us. So it's really important that we get to a point where we start to really not care what other people think too much, to be honest, because that's what keep us blind a lot of time. Because, okay, let me give you an example, right? You might believe that celebrating holidays is not right, right? You don't think it's good for you. You don't want to work with the energy of the frequency behind the holidays, those so-called holidays. And let me get a little bit deep into these holidays. These holidays are not so holy. First of all, these holidays are not so saintly. These holidays are not so good. And you can even go ahead and do your research, for those that like to research and not look at what is in front of them. These holidays that are celebrated, any kind of holidays, who made that up? Find that out, and then you come up to your own conclusion. I'm gonna leave it at that. But anyways, you might have the understanding that you don't celebrate no holidays, right? And you might come across someone that does celebrate the holiday, and you might let them know, okay, well, okay, you enjoy, but I do not participate in this energy. I do not participate in this frequency, and I choose not to. And they might give you all type of all reason of like, oh well, like, this holiday I celebrate because of this and this, and because no, I'm not looking at it that way. I'm looking at it like celebrating, for the people, or I'm looking at it this other way, right? But you were still participating in that energy, whether you look at it differently or not. It's still what is. Like I said, everything is what is, right? And even you changing your viewpoint on that is already giving is pushing you a little bit away of the holiday itself, but you're still participating in that holiday. It's like being in a box, right? Being in the box and telling yourself that, well, you are not in the box, you are in a space, you are in a home. Well, that still doesn't take the fact that you are in a box, even though you don't believe you're in a box, but you still are, right? So when it comes to that, like, change like the way you think people view you. Like people are reflecting themselves onto you. However people feel inside, or what people are not able to accomplish themselves, they will try to reflect it back to you, because it's not something they're able to do themselves. It's not something they're able to grasp themselves. They will try to find anything and anything to justify their action, to justify why it is that they don't believe what you believe, or why it is that you're wrong, or why it is that you're right. At the end of the day, what is what is. And it's all about resonance. Okay? So we need to stop like looking at things, look going around what is, and look at things for what it is. And if you do not know, find out, because trust me, if you do not try to find out what it is, that what energy you're working with, or what state, what space you in, you're gonna still end up manifesting things that are not meant for you. Or even though it might be looking good and it might be looking all nice and everything like that in the moment, but go deep into it. Don't just look in the surface. You know how they say don't judge a book by its cover? Apply that in everything, because things are not what they seem. And in this realm of reality that we live in, if you do not have that discernment, if you do not have any kind of discernment or whatsoever, you're going to be lost in the sauce. You are. And I'm just speaking by experience. Like I said, if you don't know something, do not speak on it. If you haven't had an experience on something, do not speak on it, because you're going to lead people astray. And a lot of people, unfortunately, because they think that having spirituality or going around and speaking, expressing a viewpoint on things is just something that is to be done because it looks cool or something. Like, no. It's real people out here that have experienced certain experiences that made them gain the wisdom that they share with you guys. And you will even know if you feel it. It's about, like, tap into your feelings, because a lot of us can't even tap into our feelings because of past traumas, past emotional traumas, or the perception of other people reflections. Like, we are not all the same. We are not. We all have different characteristics that makes up ones. And that's what allow us to even relate to one another. Because if we were all the same, we wouldn't, trust me, if we were all the same and had the same experience, we wouldn't have nothing to add on to the others. We wouldn't have, and we all about adding on and expanding our awareness, a concept of viewpoints. And if you cannot do that, then you will remain closed-minded. You will remain dormant. And it's not a matter of me just coming right here and rambling about blah 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 blah. Whoever is meant to gain this concept and understand what it is that I'm saying,